May 3rd, 2014, and we're in
the Treasure Island Bar and Grill.
Damian Ochoa is sitting in front of me, and he's going to tell us all about himself. He has clinical experience and education in a specific area that is actually quite useful in knowing about, considering the issue with your mold.
Right.
I mean, I think it gives you some insight into the mold problem that we're going to talk about. But just, give us a rundown on who you are, what's important to you. And yeah.
I was born and raised in Southern California by Palm Springs, and I moved here to San Francisco 15 years ago on the 5th of next month. I'm a clinical social worker. I've worked in the city and county for that amount of time, and have worked for the Department of Public Health, for San Francisco State, for the University of California at San Francisco. I've worked for In-Home Support Services Consortium, the Community Living Fund, Conard House, Catholic Charities, and
Damien,
yes.
What have you done for these organizations? What's been your main?
I have been an intensive case manager. I've been I've been an interim program director. I've been a recruitment coordinator. Been a research associate. I've been a clinical manager. So one of the things that I did is I moved here. My partner and I moved to the island on December 1st of 2009. So it was right after the .com bubble happened. My partner lost his job that he was making over $100,000 a year from, and we started looking to move from Bernal Heights because we were paying like $2,400 for rent. And we came across the villages at Treasure Island. One of the things, though, that once we got situated and signed in here was that then I realized that John Stewart Company, who I referred to as JSCO, was the property management company. And that alarmed me because I had done previous work with them, with Conard House, with the Care Not Cash hotels that Gavin Newsom started in the city. And they were the property manager, and there were numerous problems with them. So I started doing research on them and found out that they are the second largest and richest property management company in the state of California. I don't believe that they involve themselves with nonprofits because they want to give back to the community or help marginalized and oppressed populations. I think that they strictly do it because it is guaranteed revenue that's going to come in for them for the work that they do. And right now, John Stewart Company is in the middle of their RFP, their request for proposal, to still continue to be the property manager here for TIDA. So I have 4 degrees. I have an associate's degree in behavioral and social sciences. I have a bachelor's of arts in psychology, a bachelor's of arts in human development, and I have a master's in social work, and I'm almost done getting my hours to become licensed, and I'm applying to a PsyD and a couple PhD programs in the fall of this year.
And you were saying that shortly you'll be able to go into private practice.
Yes.
And you go into private practice doing what?
Doing therapy, doing one-on-one therapy with clients, with children, with families, with groups. And that, to get licensed in the state of California as an LCSW, which is a licensed clinical social worker, you have to have 3,200 hours of verifiable clinical experience in different settings. You have to take 5 or 6 additional classes onto getting your master's, and then you have to submit your hours to the BBS, which I'm registered. Anybody can go to the BBS website.
What's the BBS?
It's the Board of Behavioral Sciences for the state of California.
Right.
And so anyone can go there, put someone's name in, their information will pop up to see if they've been fined, if they've had any complaints against them, if they're in good standing or whatnot. And as an associate clinical social worker, I'm registered with them.
Why did you want to get degrees in education and experience in this particular field? Why did you choose this in the beginning? In social work? Yeah.
Because I came...
I mean, just personally.
Personally, because I came from a family that... I was molested when I was a child by a cousin of mine for about 10 years, starting when I was about 5. And also because my mom was a survivor of domestic violence. And so that really just interested me in the field. And I also had a calling when I was 18 to become a priest. and I decided after much thought and mulling it over that I was not going to go into the church, even though I am a practicing Catholic, that I would do God's work on the outside. And I believe that Jesus was a social worker, and so that's what I've committed my life to doing. And I've been doing it in the fall. It's going to be 20 years.
Jesus was a social worker.
Yes, he was.
He really was.
I believe so. So, you know, in my work, even being here in San Francisco, I have worked with such the wide range of people that are marginalized and oppressed populations. I've worked with homeless people, I've worked with youth, I've worked with families, I've worked with people living with HIV/AIDS, I've worked with the severely and persistently mentally ill, I've worked with the substance abuse population, I've worked with the criminal justice population, I did some work with sex offenders here in the city. I have done research on about 14 different projects through the Department of Public Health, through UCSF, and from San Francisco State. I've dealt with people in grieving and loss. I've worked in domestic violence. I've worked in sexual assault. I was the direct service coordinator of a rape crisis center.
You look too young to have done.
I'm going to be 41 next month. The thing about it is, and then I've also worked with the aging population. So I've had clients as young as 5 and clients as old as 101.
Wow.
Yes.
So explain why you're telling us that.
Well, the other thing the reason why is because I know how to empathize, sympathize with people. I know how to be an active listener. And the one thing that I find, regardless of where you come from, what your ethnicity, your religious, your socioeconomic status is that we're all people, and people have feelings. And more than anything, people just want to be heard. It's simple. They want to be heard. They want to be encouraged. They want to be validated. It's pretty simple what people want.
Mostly, I found in my work, they want to be heard if you just be quiet and listen.
Absolutely.
That goes a long way.
Yes.
But then, if you do the other things,
yes,
that's even better.
Right. And the thing about it is I really believe that it's about empowering people. It's not about telling people what they need to do to change their lives. It's not about, oh, I have 4 degrees and have alphabet soup behind my name. It's not that I'm any better. It's because of the experiences and the education and the training that I've had, and because of my own personal experiences as being a person of color and being gay, that there's just so many things that we all challenge. We all have crosses to bear. No one lives without pain and suffering. That's what this life is really about, and I believe that we're all on the journey together. And if people would just take time to stop judging one another and just to be present and listen, that would go a very, very long way.
That's fantastic.